Hi, I'm Ray from the Radio Workshop. Nice communications receiver this. Eddystone Marine HF receiver. 1.5 to 30 megs. Also 370 kilohertz to 520 kilohertz. Between medium wave and long wave, that was a marine band. 500 kcs being the calling and distress. CW, Morse code only. Beep, beep, beep. So rather nice. It's Eddystone. I downloaded the manual for this on the internet. Made by Eddystone. It's model 910/1, 910/1. Inside it says Stratton. I think it's HR 101. So perhaps Stratton made it for Eddystone. Just to complicate things further, there's a badge on the front there that says Marconi. So I don't know who made it. It's an Eddystone receiver. Everyone recognises it as Eddystone. That I've added, of course. Rather nice. Yeah, so it covers, as I say, 1.5 to 30 megs, 370 kilohertz to 520 kilohertz. So no long wave, not Radio 4 type long wave anyway. And sadly, no medium wave. Starting at 1.5 megs, I could just go below that and listen to our local BBC, whatever it is, County, Sussex, whatever it is. Yeah, shame there's no medium wave, because nice to do a bit of medium wave DXing at night. Have a listen around for American radio stations, but there we are, not to worry. What else was I going to tell you? Built-in mains power supply, of course, external speaker. There's a socket on the back, where is it? For a, there we are, signal strength meter. So I've made up one, just an octal plug, and that just plugs in the back. It's only a pot and a couple of resistors. I got that from the circuit, yeah, the manual saw the circuit diagram of this. So 200 microamp meter. So I knocked that up. I'm going to put it in a box, stand it on top. So yeah, that's rather good. Very nice. It's in what, 7 is it? 7 ranges. The tuning, of course, being Eddystone, is absolutely superb. Look at that. It just is beautiful. Crystal calibrator. Every 500 kilohertz, you've got that comes up. What else? RF and IF gain, which is nice. You can also have fixed frequency listening. There's 4 crystal positions inside, and there's a control there for manual tuning, or the 4, is it 4? Yeah, 4 crystal positions. Sadly there are no crystals in it. Someone's had those, which is a shame. I haven't got any, not to worry. Dual conversion, double conversion, whatever you want to call it. I think the IF's, what is it, 1400 kcs, I nearly said then, oh, showing my age, 1400 kilohertz and 85 kilohertz, I think. So yeah, double conversion IF, rather nice. RF amplifier, of course, all B7G valves. Made in, I believe, 1961, 62-ish, somewhere around there. And of course, in those days, this sort of communications receiver was, well, it was just sort of the bee's knees. It was sheer bliss to have something like this. I dread to think what it cost new in those days, probably hundreds of pounds, maybe thousands, no, maybe not. So rather nice. It's got aerial input. You've got just a single wire input, or balanced, 75 ohm balanced input, which can be quite useful if you're putting up a balanced dipole or something like that for whatever band. Yeah, selectable, basically a narrow filter. This is IF filter, so you can go, it actually moves the coils up and down inside one of the IF cans, which is rather novel. Works extremely well. Yeah, you've got a little bit of incremental tuning here that actually tunes one of the IF stages, so that's actually IF tuning there. Yeah, very nice. It's got here SSB CW position. The sideband is a product detector, one valve in a little sort of die cast unit over there, and it's got a problem with it, so I've got to look into that. I mean, I wanted this for two reasons. First of all, it was £25, which is absolutely amazing for something of this quality. I don't know whether it's a collectible item. I don't know, I suppose so. And also I wanted something. I've got my amateur radio gear. I'm a G4. I've got an amateur radio. What is it? The Kenwood TS 570. So I can listen to sideband and all that on there. But I wanted something for the broadcast bands, the shortwave broadcast bands, and this is ideal, of course. Just right. Weighs 50 pounds, whatever that is in kilos. I don't know. It's a lot. I know that much. It's pretty big, as you can see. I don't really want it in the workshop. You know, this is where I repair customers' radios. What I've been doing is sliding it over there onto the second bench, but I've got no room for it in the workshop, so I don't know quite where it will end up. But lovely bit of kit. That's why I just thought I'd show you, those who are interested. Look at that, absolutely superb. There was a couple of things wrong with it when I got it. The tuning here, just wanted a drop of oil. That was graunching and squeaking. Little bit of alignment on the RF section. What was on band 2, which is 11 to 18 megs. A little bit quiet, so I picked up the RF on that band. Everything else seems fine. Cleaned the wave change switch. That was a little bit noisy. There we are, nice receiver. As I say, Eddystone model 910/1. HF marine receiver, used on the ships, of course. That's what it was for. Used on ships, I suppose back in the 60s. That's when it was made. 60s, 70s. Nice bit of kit, and it doesn't drift. Obviously, once it's warmed up, you know, initially it'll drift a little bit, but once it's warmed up, it doesn't drift. Well, hardly. For a valve receiver, it's pretty good. Nice bit of kit, nicely built as well. So there we are. I've just got to find a home for it. I wanted to put it in the lounge, but my wife didn't seem to think it would fit in the lounge. She didn't think it would be aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I thought it would, not to worry. So I shall have a tune around on that this evening after dark. See what I can hear on the old shortwave bands, the broadcast bands. Hi, as promised, we're going to have a look inside the Eddystone communications receiver, model 910/1. Nice piece of kit. It's a little bit deaf, I believe. I've mentioned this before, I know, but it's a little bit deaf. I've got to check it over, see what's going on. I've done all the alignment, but anyway, let's not hang about. Let's have a look first of all at the top of the chassis there. Okay, this is the top view of the chassis. Rectifier, that's a stabilizer valve there. Then we've got RF amp there, mixer, oscillator. That is the BFO and the product detector for resolving sideband and CW. Here, crystal calibrator and this little unit on top. A couple of valves there, that unit plugs in. What else have we got? That's audio output. This, I believe, is detector. This is the audio output transformer. This is detector. 85 kc IF amp there. In here is the, what is it, 1400 kc IF amp and mixer oscillator. So, you know, because you've got two IFs on this one. This cover here is quite easy to remove. I won't do it now though. Quite easy to remove. Then you can see the tuning gang down there, which is one, two, I think, yeah, 3-section tuning gang for your oscillator, mixer, sorry, RF amp, mixer and oscillator. There, if you can see, there are 4 crystal sockets, so you can have 4 sort of crystal controlled sort of preset frequencies on receive, which is rather good. Not a lot to see, but quite a few emails from people. We want to see inside, so there's the inside. In fact, yes, rather nice, rather nicely built. Usual Eddystone sort of design sub chassis sort of all bolted together. The product detector here, when I switched to sideband and CW, there's a problem in here, in this can where the components are. There's a problem. There's a lot of noise, crackling going on, and it's not right. So what I've got to do is work out how to get this out, probably bolted in from underneath. Once I can get that out into the open and have a look inside, probably some capacitors in there that want changing. Okay, so that's the top of the chassis. I shall now show you underneath. There's not actually a great deal to see underneath. I won't take this cover off because I've done all the alignment. These numbers I've written here, where are we? It's the oscillator. These are the oscillators. No, that's not right. That's right. Oscillator. These are all oscillators for the various bands. Sorry, down here, get it right. It's because it's all upside down. RF amp, mixer, oscillator, and I've numbered these because the manual is wrong. These are wrong, so I've had to find out by sort of trial and error which is which, and then I've marked them. So as I say, I've done the alignment, so that's all done now. That's pretty good. Not a lot to see because all that lot's covered up, of course. Fairly easy to work on. One or two bits hidden away down there. I've got an idea there's a problem. Someone's changed a couple of resistors and a capacitor down there. That's the 85 kc IF stage in there, and there's some more capacitors here that I want to change. I'm not sure that this is, as I've said, quite up to scratch. It's a little bit deaf, so I'm going to do some checks with the signal generator and also compare it to the Eddystone receiver that I've got under the bench. So anyway, that's what you see below the chassis, all nice and neat, nice wiring. Very easy to do the alignment as well. You've got the coils for the padding, and you've got the beehive trimmers. They're Phillips, I think Phillips beehive trimmers, which you have to adjust with the special tool. It's like a box spanner. So you've got the coil, the capacitors, the trimmer capacitors, which do the HF end of the dial on each band, and that's the trimming, and then the coils for padding, which do the low frequency end of the band. So you've got RF, that section. This section here is mixer, down here is the oscillator. The oscillator was actually a fair way out on all bands, so I had to put that right. Okay, I'll just show you the front again because I want to show you there's a way of moving the pointer to set the calibration. I'll show you that now. Okay, there's the front. Unfortunately, because the lighting in here reflected in the glass here, I can see on the monitor. You can see everything reflected in the glass. I was just going to show you this. You can just see this little knob up here. What this does, if you turn this, it moves the pointer. You turn it that way or that way, only a little bit, only sort of half an inch or so. And the idea of that, when you press this button here, that switches on the crystal calibrator. So what you do is you tune to 6 megs, find the crystal calibrator, then you can adjust the pointer. You just move the pointer to get it spot on the 6 meg position. So that's quite useful. It's just that, you know, these old receivers do drift, and you know, it's just a way to find out exactly where you are with the crystal calibrator. You can do that on all bands, of course. Just adjust that. So what I did was I put this in the middle of its travel, and then do the oscillator alignment. Obviously you don't want it set at one end. So that's the front, complete with the reflections of bits and pieces. Yes, the Eddystone 910/1. There we are. I'll just show you in the back there. You can see in here the tuning gang. This is the octal socket for the field strength meter, sorry, S meter here. That one, and I think this is one to use with a transmitter, so when you transmit you desensitize the receiver. Aerial and earth. Again, if you take that link off there, unearth that, you've then got the 2 aerial connections for a balanced feeder, which is quite nice. 600 ohm output, or 2.5 ohm output for a speaker, and there's a desensitizing link there which you disconnect when you're using it with a transmitter, because obviously you don't want to turn the transmitter on while you've got the receiver on. So yeah, nice size mains transformer in there, that's rather nice, all very well built. And that's about it. 3 nice dial lights along the top there, you can't really see those 3 nice dial lights that also light up the desk or the bench or whatever in front of the receiver, so which is nice for a logbook or something if you're writing down stations or whatever you're doing, call signs or whatever. So that's it, rather a nice piece of kit, very pleased with that, except I think it's deaf, but I'll keep you posted on that. So there we are, as promised, a look inside the Eddystone that says Marconi on the front and Stratton inside. It's a nice receiver. As I said, it's got a couple of problems. There's a product detector. When I switched to CW and SSB, turned the RF gain down and the AF gain up, RF and IF gain on this, turn them down, AF gain up, a lot of crackling going on. It's not the valve, that's the BFO and the product detector there, it's not the valve. So I don't know what it is, it's something in that cam which I'll have to sort out. It's a shame. I've had a look in here, in this cam, where the what is it, the 1400 kilohertz IF stages, mixer and oscillator, all in this can, a couple of valves there. It's all rather nice. It hasn't been got at, which is good. Apart from, as I said, under the chassis, a couple of resistors and a capacitor have been changed. But I want to check the sensitivity just before I install it. I've made a place for it. I've just got to check the sensitivity, and then it's all done. Everything's working nicely. So, okay, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye bye for now.